Well, why don't you tell me a bit more about what you learned in the UK about the teaching process and your sort of opinions on the British way of doing things.
Oh, okay, that's a great question. So one of the differences between the English education in Japan and English education in the UK is I would pick up the critical thinking. In Japan, basically because of the curriculum or entrance or exam-oriented education, the teacher try to maybe or focused on teaching a very efficiently, focusing on like how to solve the questions or how to think logically, but not critically. In the UK, for example, like text analysis is a good example. Maybe like middle school students or teenagers try to analyze the text and then compare sometimes, with many texts or variety of texts. And then they bring some evidence to make a statement or like to support his or her ideas and make an essay. Of course, writing is very important part. But on the other hand, in Japan, so textbook or text appear, and then there are some underlines, and then they try to like comprehend the text what it says. That's it. I mean, they do not edit or integrate or make the text better. So basically, they don't bring any evidence to support their ideas, but they try to explain what the text says. So it's more like a comprehensive basis, I would say. But in the UK, as I said, it's more like analysis-based and evidence-based or research-based. So that kind of difference is very outstandingly, how can I say? Yeah, I found it.
It's quite a marked difference, you might say. So you sound as though you're more in favour of the British way of approach, or the British approach to teaching. Would you say that's right?
So I prefer the British style rather than like a Japanese style you are saying.
Mm.
Of course, it's very difficult to say that completely 100%. Every matter is, depending on how to see the education or how to, I would say, like bring up or foster the attitude of the students, or like I would say like a whole society is different. For example, like in Japan, I think like more, of course it's changing, but still more likely the business is more like teamwork, or sometimes they obey the rules. On the other hand, the European people, they require to be creative and get every work done within the limited time. But if they can do that, I think they can take a rest. But in Japan, if they do that, they should support other people. Some more work will come. In that case, like understanding other people is very important part, but not very creative, because creativity sometimes hurt many people. I mean, for example, creativity can make him or her outstanding, which means destroy the harmony. I would say extremely to say, okay. But on the other hand, if the people respect many like each other, the creativity can be also respected, and they don't feel uncomfortable. But in Japan, still traditionally, it's very, I would say, like, challenging for majority of the people to accept such a like outstanding person. So like, okay, he's different, or she's different, or she's too outstanding, or she's too good, or he's too good, which means like I don't follow him, I don't follow her, I can't come up with it, I can't be team with them. So in that sense, the harmony is destroyed. So if the society seek for such like a harmony, even though sacrificing some sort of creativity, comprehensive basis learning can be a good option, because comprehensive basis education sometimes kill creativity, so that the harmony be created. So of course, some people say that the creativity can be kept even though the teamwork is there. Yes, that's true. But I think it's so difficult for many teachers in Japan, because they are also educated that way. So even though they, some of the teachers go abroad and some sort of experiences, they are not immersed in the English world, which means that at some point they still feel or have in their mind the Asian basis, exam basis, or comprehensive basis education with the harmony is very valued. So yeah, if that's the case, probably at some point exam basis can be valued for harmony. Of course, it doesn't apply to this in Europe or American, because it's obviously it's not monolingual country. It's for the condition, there are so many nationalities. Japan, only Japanese. So environment is so much different. So I cannot say that which is better or not. Yes, of course, for the it depends on the situation. For example, like a business world, sometimes to solve the global issues or business issues, and because of the international world, and Japan is a third ranked economic world, and then they sometimes try to make a business with other nations. In that sense, that area, the people should understand other people's cultures or other people's understandings. But just because that trend exists, it doesn't mean that Japan is still a third ranked economic country. So it's so difficult to say that if they try to number one, yeah, they should change completely. But because of the characteristic or I would say nationality of Japanese, they don't try to be number one, at the first beginning. They are not American. American people, they might be try to be number one. But Japanese characteristic, they do not try to be number one, which means they are already satisfied at some point with a third rank, as long as they make a living. So why not they change their way of thinking? They don't want to be number one, number two, or number three. As long as they make a living, they don't want to be competing with each other. They try to make peace, and they don't want to destroy harmony. That's the characteristic of Japanese. So other foreign people, okay, Japan's economy is declining. Why not try to make improvement? Yes, at some point, but we are make a living, and we value how to think about others, care about others. And if we destroy and try to be number one, no. So it's okay.
We're coming to the end today. It's been very nice to meet you. Excellent pronunciation, really strong level of English, of course, as I'm sure you know. My only tip, I guess, might be instead of saying him or her, you can also say there.
There.
Yeah, or them, rather than he or she. So other than it just sounds a little less clumsy, I think, in English. But what you said wasn't incorrect. But other than that, yeah, really clear, very good, very well well argued. And I hope to see you again. It's been good today. Thank you.
We still have 30 seconds. When you hear my speaking, how do you feel? Comfortable enough to understand?
Oh yeah, easily. Yeah. Your pronunciation is very good, very clear pace of speech, and I mean it's clear to me you've spent some time in in the UK in an English-speaking nation, because your sentence construction as well. It's very clear, very accurate. So yeah, good.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Okay, thanks. Have a good night.
You too.
Thank you. Goodbye.